హాయ్. వెరీ వార్మ్ వెల్కమ్ టు ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ. మనం చాలా డేస్ నుంచి కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాలిడేషన్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాం. అదేవిధంగా ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్‌లో క్వాలిటీ కంట్రోల్ గురించి గానీ, క్వాలిటీ అష్యూరెన్స్ గానీ, అదేవిధంగా రెగ్యులేటరీ అఫైర్స్ గురించి కూడా మాట్లాడుకుంటున్నాం. మనం లైవ్ పెట్టి చాలా డేస్ అయింది. అదేవిధంగా నాకు ఆల్రెడీ మన యాప్ ఉంది. హెచ్‌జీ ఫార్మా ట్రైనింగ్స్ యాప్. దాంట్లో వచ్చే క్వెరీస్‌ని కూడా నేను మాక్సిమం చాలా మందికి చెప్తున్నాను. సో it is స్పెషల్‌గా ఓన్లీ ఫర్ కన్‌ఫైన్ టు కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాలిడేషన్ చెప్తాను. మనతో పాటు ఈరోజు ట్రైనర్ అశుతోష్ సింగ్ కూడా యాడ్ అవుతాడు. ఓకే. సో హాయ్ చిన్న. హాయ్. మనతో పాటు ట్రైనర్ అశుతోష్ సింగ్ కూడా ఉన్నాడు. ఒక 5, 10 మినిట్స్‌లో జాయిన్ అవుతాడు. హాయ్ గురు. ఆహ్, గుడ్ ఈవెనింగ్. గుడ్ ఈవెనింగ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ. మీకు ఏ డౌట్స్ ఉన్నా కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాలిడేషన్ గురించి ఉన్న, ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ గురున్నా, అదేవిధంగా ఫార్మకోవిజిలెన్స్ కానీ, క్లినికల్ డేటా మేనేజ్మెంట్ గానీ, క్లినికల్ రిసర్చ్ గానీ, ఏ డౌట్స్ ఉన్నా గానీ మీరు నాతో షేర్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఓకే. ఆహ్, హాయ్ వసంత్. గుడ్ ఈవెనింగ్. 10 మెంబర్స్ చూస్తున్నారు. ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ గురించి మీకు ఎలాంటి క్వెరీస్ ఉన్నా, లేదంటే కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాలిడేషన్ గురించి మీకు ఎలాంటి క్వెరీస్ ఉన్నా అడగొచ్చు. ఓకే. సో మనతో పాటు అశుతోష్ ఉన్నాడు. ఇప్పుడు తను కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాలిడేషన్ గురించి మీతో మాట్లాడతారు. యెస్. Ashutosh sir will speak in English, okay? Because this is Telugu channel, most of the members are from Telugu medium, though that's why I'm speaking in Telugu, okay? Hi, Ashutosh.
Hi, Shrikant.
Hi.
I hope
I
I
think
am audible to everyone.
yes, you are audible, and
Okay.
you are seeing the messages in comment message section.
Yeah, I'm able to see the comments. It's
Okay.
completely fine
So
with me.
please explain my students about computer system validation. Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
that we will conduct the question and answer session uh, after your presentation completed.
okay, sure. So, let me present the screen so that they'll be able to see. I hope it's visible, right?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. So hi everyone. Uh, my name is Ashutosh Singh, and I am working for one of the organization which is based out in Denmark, and I work from Bangalore location actually. And I am basically looking into computer system validation from past you can say 7 years. Okay. And over here today, why we kept the call, to have a interaction with you all, to make you understand that what is computer system validation and why it is important. I mean, what is the need of it. Okay. And along with this, we'll also cover you we have just molded a course, okay, related to computer system validation. So what are the topics you need to go through in case if you'll be enrolling for the course, and how the knowledge you'll gain from this course is going to benefit you in your long term career. So basically you don't get confused with the name. First of all, the name itself says that it's computer system validation, so might be most of the people are thinking that it is nowhere related to pharma. But when you look into the topics wise, and whatever the content related to this particular topic, it is definitely or completely related to pharmaceutical industries. So I'll just in this class, or in this live session, I'll just discuss with you guys to make you interact with uh, to make you aware about what exactly computer system validation is and how it is going to benefit you. Okay, if you are working in a pharma domain, or whether it is a wet lab or whether it is a dry lab, in both the scenario it will going to help you. So we'll be talking on that. Before that, I'll just give you an idea that why it is necessary and what is it. Okay, so I hope most of you are already working in the pharma industry, and those who are already studying and in future you wanted to work for pharma. So this is applicable to all the life sciences student, whether you're going to consider BSc, MSc, B Farm, M Farm. So it is applicable to everyone. And this course is it's in very high demand right now in the market. There are some reasons behind that. I'll just discuss that one later on. And the pay scale is outstanding. Okay, so you need to look into the to find out whether actually how this is going to help you. Okay, so the first thing is those who are working in pharmaceutical industry, or those who are studying pharmaceuticals, you might be aware about something called as qualification and validation of instruments. Okay, so this is something related to that. But what was the need to bring a new concept called computer system validation? So we'll talk on that first, and then after that, later on, I'll just go through one by one topic. And once we'll be ending the class, we'll be discussing about a lot of QA sessions. Okay, so let's consider you are working for a regulatory company. Okay, so first of all, I think you might be aware about what is a regulatory company. So regulatory pharmaceutical companies are those companies which are controlled by some sort of organizations. Okay, so in India you have CDSCO. Okay, the same way in US you have US FDA. In UK you have MHRA, and they also have in all entire Europe they have uh, EU guidelines. Okay, so they follow EU guidelines in uh, I can say MHRA, and then in Canada you have Health Canada, in Australia you have TZA. So all those regulatory authorities, they have been looking into all the manufacturing plants wherever it is situated, whether it is in India, whether it is in Russia, whether it is in any part of the world. So the objective of having this particular concept, computer system validation, comes from a lot of thinking, and a lot of I can say industrial evolution. So what exactly was happening? So all these regulatory bodies, they were visiting their regulatory plans. Okay, so that you call it as auditing and inspection. So in audit and inspection, they have when they are doing the audit and inspection of all the plants, they have find out I'm talking about the manufacturing plants. So they find out there are a lot of discrepancies happening when you are handling any process on a manual basis. Okay, or you can call it when you are doing anything manually, there is a lot of chances that you are playing with data integrity. Okay, so this is the reason which has questioned upon the quality of the product. Okay, so when I'm going to talk about the quality of the product, so obviously when you will be having something a kind of manual system to handle any activity, so you can override anytime. Okay, and you will not be having any controls on that. Okay, so what will happen, what will be the exact outcome of that? Definitely your product quality will get compromised. Okay, I'll just give you an example. Let's consider I just told any one of you to monitor temperature for 24 hours. Okay, every 1 hour you need to monitor some temperature mapping you have to do. Okay, and I have just given you a logbook. You have done for 2 to 3 hours continuously, and on fourth hours you have just missed to do that. Okay, because you are doing a process manual, and after 6 hours or 7 hours or after 8 hours you just come back, and whatever the you are supposed to write on fourth hour, you have written for sixth hours and seventh hour. So you are doing the process manual, right? So in this case you are just I mean I mean disintegrating the quality of the product, maybe, or maybe quality of the procedure, I can say. So they have looked, the FDA people and the other regulatory bodies, they have looked, and they find out that this is going to be a big challenge, because they'll not be here looking into what exactly you are manufacturing, how you are manufacturing, or any process how you are doing that. Okay, so what they thought, that let's bring a kind of softwares, a kind of systems, okay, into the industry, and remove all manual activities and make everything paperless. So bring everything on the software side. Okay, so just consider that you are having any process which you are performing manual. Now all those processes has to be upgraded to automation. Okay, so you will be having a software which is going to handle that, whatever the process you are doing it manual. So I'll just give you a very simple example. If you are working in a pharma organization, the first job when you enter into the laboratory is to you take a logbook, and then what exactly you do, you just go to different areas and you write humidity and temperature. Okay, if it is out of order also, you just maintain it within the time, within that the action limit or the alert limit, and then you put that in your logbook. Nobody knows that whether that area is really, you went there and you have noted down the temperature and humidity or not. So when you are doing a manual activity, definitely it is going to be questionable. right? Because you will not be having any evidence to prove that whether that area is complies or not. So in all those cases, they have thought. And now if you'll see, so most of the companies, those who are approved by regulatory bodies, what exactly they are doing? They are fixing data loggers, auto data loggers. They are fixing in that data logger is controlled by some sort of softwares, correct? So now there is nothing called as manual activity. If in that area, in that particular area, if the temperature is going out of the order, definitely it is going to trigger in record in the log, right? So there is no chances that you can just deviate it. You cannot delete that whatever is triggered, right? So those kind of controls they have brought through some software or through some system. Okay, now you need to understand what is software, what is system. So if it is a standalone software which is going to perform any of the manual activity to the automation, it is a software. When I'm talking about system, so just consider any instrument or any equipment which is integrated with I can say software, and the software is controlling that particular instrument. Okay, and you are doing the application of that particular instrument. So entire application is getting controlled by some sort of software. Then we call it as a system. So the first thing what you need to learn is what is computer system validation. So I hope you got the idea. So why the first thing is why you know computer system validation was introduced. So to rule over to mitigate all the risk which is related to data integrity, they have introduced computer system validation. So actually they have introduced softwares. Okay, now all those softwares which you are going to use in life sciences industry or pharmaceutical industries, okay, so those softwares either in direct way or indirect way, in both ways it is going to impact, end of the day it is going to impact patient health and safety, and also the product quality, isn't it? So the same way, if that system is used, if that software is developed, so it is your responsibility, it is the responsibility of a pharmaceutical person, or maybe the SME, that is called as subject matter expert. So it is their responsibility, or it is like if you have a QA team, if you have a validation QA team, so it is their responsibility to go and look into that and to validate the particular software. So when I'm talking about validation, that means you are going to prove that particular software, whatever it is, whatever the purpose of that particular software is there or not, that particular software is meeting or not. So that you are going to check. How you are going to check? You have to do some validation, right? You have to do some testing. So when you are going to do some testing, when you are going to do some validation, definitely you'll be having some evidence. Those evidence will prove, that will be the documented evidence. Those documents will prove that yes, this software is very much safe, and the purpose is getting approved, or the purpose will be achieved if in case if we'll be using that particular software. So that is called as computer system validation. So validating of any softwares inside the pharmaceutical industry, inside the life sciences industry, this process we call it as a computer system validation. Why it was introduced? Because they were the FDA, the all regulatory bodies, they were looking into this very clearly. And what was the objective of this? To have control over whatever the process you are doing manually. So to have control on all those processes which is manually conducted, and those processes needs to be automated. So that's the reason they have introduced computer system validation. Okay, so this is just a general overview. I mean, once we'll be enrolling for the course, then in that way, we'll be talking about this in a detailed way, in a very deep way. And the course duration is 50 days. I'll just show you what all topics we'll be covering and how it is related to this. So I'm just sharing my next slide, and you'll be able to see that. Okay. So what are the topics we are going to cover in CSV? So the first thing we'll be discussing is CSV as an overview. So in that we'll be discussing what is CSV, okay, what is the general validation, and what is computer system validation. So we'll be talking on both the aspects. Along with that, we'll also be talking on why CSV was introduced. What was the need? I mean, just consider that a process which was happening manually, that we could have left it manually happening, right? I mean, we cannot go and change it and make it to automation. What was the need? So we'll be talking on that, why it was introduced. And then we'll also look into what is the purpose and application of a computer system validation. So that we'll be discussing in topic 1. And then we'll be talking about role of regulatory authorities, that is FDA and EU. So I hope these two are the topmost regulatory bodies in the entire world, and they control a lot of things. So one is from Europe, one is from America. So then here in this case we'll be seeing how the regulatory authorities are going to help in implementation, deployment of particular software which you are developing, or maybe the IT company which is going to develop those softwares. So we'll be talking on that. And then we'll also look into a few of the regulatory guidelines which is very much mandatory with respect to the softwares, that is 21 CFR Part 11. So most of you might be knowing this. It's talk about electronic records and electronic signatures. EU Annexure 11, it also talks about similar with concept with respect to Part 11, and it talks about risk assessment and introduction implementation of electronic records and electronic signatures, and controls over the quality. And we have 21 CFR Part 820, which talks about whenever you are going to develop a new software, and if it is going to use in pharmaceuticals industry, then in that case that particular software needs to be validated from the manufacturer or the vendor. So it is mandatory requirement actually from a 21 CFR Part 820. Okay, and then we'll be also talking on GXP guideline that's called as good practices. And in that good practices, we have another concept called GAMP that talks about good automated manufacturing practices. So this is a very important guideline in this course. So GAMP, how GAMP is introduced in CSV. So whenever you have any manual process and you wanted to automate it, so when you have to automate some processes, you need to follow some good practices, right? So that these things, the GAMP came from GXP. So X, it is a variable component. So depending upon which industry or which domain you are going to cater, X will be changed according to that. So let's consider you are working in a laboratory. So it will be changed to GLP, that is good laboratory practices. Correct. The same way, if you are into manufacturing, then it will be changed to GMP, good manufacturing practices. So X is always a variable and it's a dynamic component. Okay, so in same way, when you have to deal something with the automation manufacturing, then the X will be AM over here. So that's why it is called as good automation manufacturing practices. Okay, so these all are the different guidelines which we'll be talking inside the course. And we have the fourth topic as initial risk assessment. So this is a very common concept, when you have to introduce any new software, or maybe if you are already using a software and you wanted to upgrade it to next level. Just consider that you are using a software which is version 5 and you wanted to switch to version 6. So in that case also the initial risk assessment has to be done. Okay, or else you are just bringing a new software from the market, you are bringing it for your organization. So there also you need to perform risk assessment. So entire risk management involves two components. One is risk assessment, the other one is risk mitigation. So in first part you look for the risk, then you write down the risk, and in risk mitigation you try to cover up the risk, you try to mitigate that, you try to remove that risk. So in initial risk assessment we'll be talking about two components, that will be risk assessment and the other will be risk management. Risk assessment and risk mitigation, and together it will be called as risk management. Okay, and how to mitigate that risk, we have a concept approach study that we call it as FEMIA. We call it as failure mode effective analysis. Okay, so I'll be teaching you this thing also, like how FEMIA is going to involve, and how it is going to mitigate all the risk which will be related to your softwares. Okay, and to perform any project. Okay, so see this one, this particular activity, when I'm talking about validation, so that validation activity, how you need to carry out. So we have a approach, we call it as PDCA cycle, that is called as plan, do, check and act cycle. So any project or any activity which will be performing in any life sciences organization or any organization. So when you have been assigned to any activity or when you have assigned any task, so there should be an approach how you are going to do. Let's consider going to tell you some of you that you have to travel to Mumbai. So you cannot directly go and travel to Mumbai, right? There should be an approach. First, you need to pack your bags. You need to have a ticket. You need to travel to airport. The security check will be done. Then after it will be onboarded to the flight, and then you'll be landed in Mumbai, right? So it's a part of a process which, which is done in step by step, right? So the same way when you have to do any validation or any activities, so we have a cycle that is called as PDCA: plan, do, check, and act cycle. Okay, so PDCA cycle is the approach, okay, which will help you out, okay, in carrying out any of the activities. Okay, then we'll be talking about these two regulatory bodies, FDA and EU. So based upon that, how the medical devices are categorized. Okay, so when I'm talking about medical devices, I'm also going to consider about software as a medical devices. So whatever the smartwatch, like you wear and it gives you a heartbeat data and all those things, so that also will falls under software as a medical device category. Or maybe you have heard about ECG, EEG, or sonography, X-ray. So this all falls under category of medical devices. So how these two regulatory bodies are having a control on these medical devices, so we'll be looking into that. And then we'll be talking about SDLC, that is called as software development life cycle. So just consider, I'll just give you a, like, a story, a user story after this, so that you'll get an idea of what exactly we are talking. So let me complete with this, don't get confused. And so over here, the SDLC is software development life cycle. So when you need a software, you have to get it developed, right? I mean, as a pharma company, you are not going to develop that software. You are either going to hire a IT team, or maybe you are going to approach some IT company, and those people, their team, they are going to develop the software. So they will be developing the software, and then they will be doing the testing. So SDLC is software development life cycle, SDLC is software testing life cycle. Okay, so until and unless development will not get over, will not be starting the testing, isn't it? So that's why, so first development has to be done, and then testing has to be done. Then how to perform those testings? Okay, we have something called as test suite. So we'll be talking on that one. So test suite is like a kind of practice, so to check whether the software is working fine or not. So all the single components of the software will be tested. So how to test that one? We have the approach that's called a test suite. We'll be discussing on that. And then let's consider that a developer has developed a software. Okay, now you're going to test the software. When you are testing the software, you find that there are so many glitches in the software, there is so many bugs, there is so many software issues. Okay, so how to handle those kind of I can say bugs. The same way, let's consider in pharma, when you perform some activity, okay, and you find something non-complies, what do? You log it as a deviation, right? Maybe either it is a deviation, maybe a non-complies, or maybe a observation. The same way, when you are going to test the software, you are going to find out the bugs is nothing but a kind of bad program, I can say. Okay, or maybe a kind of bad function which is not letting the actual function to happen. So those particular things are handled through a software called Jira. It's Jira, it's from Australia. Okay, so we'll give you hands-on experience on this. We have the ID password for this particular software. So I'll just give you, you can just log into your particular system, and you can have the access for this. And the way we used to handle this particular process, we call it as defect management. Okay, so that's why defect management tool is handled through Jira. And Jira is an application which is widely used. I mean, if you look into the entire world, 80% of the company use this. Okay, now how do you where and all the development will happen? There should be some repository, right? When I'm talking about repository, or maybe some platform. Okay, just consider that you have to write a mail. Where you'll write a mail, you should have an email ID for that, isn't it? The same way we have HPLM and Azure DevOps. So this is optional. So HP comes from the HP company name itself, because they have designed this software. And ALM is called as application lifecycle management. So entire activity of the software getting developed, then the testing, then the deployment, everything happens in this particular platform. Okay, so this is again a software, so we'll be giving you an idea on this. Okay, the next point is a scrum master. So a scrum master is more of a kind of a role. It's a process where one person will be there who will be looking into all the operationals and technical component of particular project. Okay, so I'll be teaching you this one as well. So till here, once your product is ready, then what you will do, you will be sending your product for the deployment. Deployment means those who have already ordered the product. So once the product will get ordered, the delivered, then after that we'll be doing the validation. So all the validation deliverables related activities we'll be discussing. So how to make validation process, how to test case designing, how to write the test case script, then how to conduct the testing, then after that how to write the validation summary report. If there is any non-conformances happen, that we'll be looking into that. So that also will be adding. Okay, so all those things we'll be discussing in validation deliverables. Then next point is QMS learning. So this might be more common to the people who are already into the industry. So in QMS, we are going to look into three components. One is change control, okay, or change management. The second thing we are going to look into is deviation. Okay, and the third one is kappa management. Okay, so all these three components we'll be talking in QMS. Okay, and then we'll be talking about role in ISO standard. Okay, so how ISO standards, okay, so how ISO standard is going to impact or plays an important role in handling any of the projects. So we have four guidelines. We have ISO 9001, we have 27001, 14001, and 13485. So all these four ISO standards I'll be talking. So ISO 9001 talks about QMS, 27001 talks about information security, 14001 talks about environmental management system, and 13485 talks about software as a medical devices. So again, this particular ISO standard is somewhere related to category of medical devices. Okay. Then once we'll be completing the course with our last topic, that is role of ISO standard. Next point we'll be doing is we'll be molding your CV. Okay. And if you're having CV or if you have resume, so we'll tailor it with respect to CSP demand right now. Okay. And then after it will also help you in setting up your Naukri profile. And then once that is done, then you can start applying for job. And with respect to that, whatever the jobs we referrals we have, okay, we have links with few companies. So there we'll be sending you your CV or resume, and we'll also be sending you a daily job updates. Okay, so you can just apply there. And so this is about the course. Now let me complete about the other thing. So the course duration is 50 days. It's 50. Okay. And we'll be teaching the course in our own app, that is SJ Pharma app. And then the classes will be 9:30 to 10:30 every day. In case if you miss any classes, then that particular class will get recorded and you'll have the recording for complete 1 year. Okay. Course duration, what we have kept is 10,000 rupees, and you can do part payment. And the course will be for 50 days, 50 days, Monday to Friday you'll be having classes. Saturday, Sunday there won't be any class. Okay, so this is about the a kind of operational part of the course. Now let me come to the technical part of the course. So when I'm going to talk about the technical part, so CSV is in very huge demand right now. Okay, so most of the IT companies are also hiring, and along with that, the pharma companies are also hiring. The reason behind that is FDA has made it mandatory that all the processes needs to be mapped from manual process to automated process. They want everything paperless so that you cannot do any data integrity related activities. So most of the people, in case if you are already working into the industry, you might be seeing everywhere they're bringing software for all the different process. Either now or maybe in coming days, they are bringing the softwares which is going to handle entire activity, right? So those particular softwares, when they are bringing it, that needs to be validated. Okay, so the demand is very high. The basic salary start with 8 lakhs to 12 lakhs rupees. Okay, and there is no upper limit, I can say, as of now. Okay, so you can earn as much as you have knowledge. And the two industry which is going to hire you, the first thing is the IT industry. So when IT is going to hire, then you have to perform the validation at their end. And if you are getting hired by a pharmaceutical company or a biopharmaceutical company or maybe any life sciences company, then you also have to perform the validation for their end. So one is a client, one is the vendor. Okay, or maybe you can call it one is a customer, the other one is a client. Okay, so this is about the course. And okay, I'll just give you an idea that what it is about. Okay, so let's consider any one of you are working in a pharma company. Okay, and you are handling one of the process, and that process is manual. Okay, I'm just giving you an idea what exactly I'm talking about. So just focus it over here for just 5 minutes. So okay, so I was telling that you are working in one pharma company and you are handling one of the process, and that process is manual. Okay, you are the manager over there, and you have three people under you, and every single day they are doing that, either overwriting or they are cutting it in the logbook or they are finding it difficult, or some mistakes they are doing. Okay, and that process, whatever you are doing manually, it is going to take a lot of time. Like it is going to consume 6 to 8 hours, okay, every day. And the impact of that particular activity is very high, but it is going to consume a lot of time. Okay, and still after putting all the time also, you are not going to get the a kind of quality in that. Okay, so you have just discussed with your upper seniors, and then you are bringing concept called, can we make it more automated? Can we just remove this manual process, and can we bring a software to handle this particular activity? Then you got the green signal from your company. Okay, then what you will do, you will contact a person in your organization who will be called as project manager. Okay, you'll hand over all your requirements to them, that what exactly you need. Okay, so just consider that you have a piece of land and you wanted to construct a house. So what exactly you do? First of all, you go to architect, you tell that you wanted to build a house. So he'll ask you all the details. What is the land size? Okay, which how side you want the main gate, main entrance facing, and all those things. So many details he'll be taking. The same way, the project management manager is going to take all the information from you, and then what he'll do? He'll summarize everything. He'll make a document. That document we call it as URS. That is called as user requirement specification, or you can also call it as a PRS, that is product requirement specification, and you can also call it as SRS, that is called as software requirement specification. Okay, so that particular document the project manager will take and he'll try to contact IT companies. Okay, and then they'll go to the IT company and then they'll hand over the URS. The IT company is going to take up the project. It all depends upon them that whether they wanted to continue with the project or not. Okay, if they agree, they'll take the project. If they disagree, you need to go to the other IT company. Some pharma company, they also have their own IT team, so they just give this proposal to the IT team, and the IT team, the developers who are already working for them, they'll be do the development. Okay, so the same way that has gone to the IT company, now IT company has accepted that yes, we can develop a software and we can give it to you. So whatever the software development will happen, no, that will be totally with respect to the regulatory requirement. Okay, so whatever the regulation or regulatory body says that when you are going to develop a software, you have to always look into this kind of checklist is there. So all those facilities or all those functions should be there. So those they'll be looking into that, and then after that they'll start doing the first thing is called as designing. So before designing, they'll again going to do the risk assessment. So once they'll do the risk assessment, then they'll do the designing of the software, and then once the designing is over, then they'll do the development. Once the development is done, then what the thing is they'll be doing is the testing, what I was talking about. So they'll be doing the software testing life cycle. So they'll be doing all kind of sort of testing, okay, to check whether that product whatever we have developed, that is good or not. In case if there is any defect with the product, they'll be logging it in defect, and again it will go to the development team. So again the development team is going to fix those things, and then finally they'll be sending it to the again testing team to check it. Okay, so once everything, the testing and validation will be completed from their end. Okay, who? The IT company. Then they will take that software and they'll deploy it. Where they'll be going to deploy? To the pharma company, because you have ordered that particular software, right? So once the software will come to you, they'll do the deployment. Deployment is nothing but installation of the software. Okay, so you perform IQ, OQ, PQ. So the same process you need to follow for software also. And then once you are going to get the software, then you will be doing the validation for that. Once the validation is done, you'll be making the validation document, and last document will be the validation summary report. Once the validation summary report is done, then after that you'll be handing it over the end user or maybe to the production team, and then they'll be start using the software. So this is a process, this is the entire process. In 50 days we'll be talking about every single thing related to this particular topic. And I think I have just completed what exactly it is. So if you have your questions, you can just write down in comments so that I can just see and revert back to you.
Hi, Hitosh. So our
Okay,
yes.
I'll just take up the question, whatever I am getting. Okay, sir, age gap. Okay, so someone has asked that you have age gap. So that's not a problem. In that case, you can just do the learning and you can try approaching for the company. But make sure that you have worked in pharma organization before. So let's consider you have just, as you are saying that you have completed your degree in 2014, and after that, did you worked in pharma industry? If you have worked for 1 year or 2 year, and after that if you have taken any gap, okay, then it is better for you to go ahead and continue the course. Okay, so this is for Chini Harsa. And Vashant, any
Nice.
future for the stream of validation? So yes, Vashant, there is a very a big stream for the validation future, I can say, because in future even a country like India is going to look into the quality side. And when you are going to talk about validation, so the end product of validation is nothing but to look into the quality of the product what you are manufacturing. So that over here, this particular thing is relating to the software. So when I'm talking about the software validation, so definitely it is somewhere directly or indirectly quality. Okay, and again, Chini Harsa has asked production department.
He got job in production department, and he asked that
Okay,
how was the department opportunities? Is there any health problems in production department?
okay, please explain. So, Harsha, the thing is like this particular activity, when I'm talking about software validation, it is mostly a desk job. You don't have to have to visit kind of your pharma industry where the manufacturing is happening. Okay, it will be a desk job, more like a kind of you are sitting in an office and you are doing the validation activity. So everything will be like done through a laptop. So you don't really have to go there to do that. Okay, and yes, what uh, you have asked something related to health problem. Yeah, production department, you are dealing with a lot of APIs and toxic chemicals. So definitely on the long term, it is going to do that. So that is one thing I can say, but it is nowhere related to the software. Software is not going to create any health problems, I can say. And apart from this, yes, if you are working in production, you are eligible to do that course.
Okay. So that is the total doubts.
Okay, anybody else is having any clarity or
People here they are asking for general doubts about the pharmaceutical industry, but you can ask your general doubts also. No need to ask
yeah, you can
exactly.
ask. Yeah, if you have anything to ask related to life sciences, you can ask. There won't be any barrier on that.
Yes, so whoever completed in 2018, 19, 20, I
Okay,
have most of the queries are coming from career gap people. They are 1 or 2 years they have worked in colleges or as a lecturer, and then
okay.
they are interested to come to pharmaceutical industry.
Pharma
Either
sides,
it is
yeah.
yes, yes, either it is QA or QC, regulatory effects or
I,
computer system
I got
validation.
it. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
what was your view for that people?
Okay, so see, I can say over here for those peoples, you can do this course. This course is going to have a lot of benefit. But as I told you, let's consider that you are completely new to the field. So I'll suggest you to better have an interaction with me in the beginning of the course so that I can give you the idea about first what is pharmaceutical industry, how a pharmaceutical industry functions, and then after that you can switch to this course. So you, in that case, if you are completely new to the industry, you need to perform two course. You need to take two courses actually.
See, another message came from Kattabaini Venkateswarlu. He has,
Okay,
you are seeing
so
that message?
4.5 years experience. Yeah, yeah, I have 4.5 years in QC. Can I? Yes, it is I mean, it is very, I can say, closely related to what exactly you are doing. So I think Venkateswaralu, you must be doing most of the analysis work, right? So when I'm going to talk about analysis work, definitely you must be handling some kind of software. So if you are in QC, there might be you get some software which handles your GC instrument, which handles your HPLC instrument, something related to melting point, something related to KF titration. So yes, definitely you can move. It is mandatory to move to CSV, I can say for you.
I have provided link in message box. You can click on the link our HG format and gaps. You can there is a two demo classes are there in HG format. You can watch the two demo classes.
Yes, yes, Venkatesh. So whatever the empower you are handling, so those particular things are related to that. So see, I can just give you an explanation here so that you'll get better clarity. Uh, right now, as a end user, you are using Empower software. Okay, that lab solution, whatever the software you are saying, Empower lab solution. As an end user, you are doing right now. When we'll be teaching up this course, you will come to know that how the Empower was developed, okay, or any software which is used in pharmaceutical industry, how it was developed. You will be coming to know about when you will be performing this course. So not only Empower, any software used in pharmaceutical industries, So that has to be validated, that has to be designed, that has to be developed with respect to computer system validation. Anyone else is having any clarity?
Yes, 3 members are watching. If you have any doubts related to pharmaceutical, you can ask here. From yesterday onwards, Ashutosh, I have got 10 or 15 calls regarding CSV. What they are
Okay.
telling, I am from Telugu background. Am I suitable for this computer system validation? Is it required very good English? Okay, that type of 2-3 members are asked that type of doubts. Is
No,
really
see,
required for English.
no, as far as your understanding is clear and you can make, you are able to make the auditor, auditor or maybe the interviewer, make them understand about what exactly you know about CSV. So definitely, I don't think that it is going to become a problem, because see, end of the day, when you are going to work, if you are working in your own regional area, so definitely the basic communication which you perform is your regional language, right? So I don't find it as a challenge when you are going to perform any activity related to CSV. It's just you need to understand the thing, what exactly we are discussing. The concept should be clear.
ఎస్ ఎవరైనా సరే తెలుగులో అడగాలని అడగవచ్చు మీకు కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాల్యుయేషన్ కాకుండా క్వాలిటీ అష్యూరెన్స్, క్వాలిటీ కంట్రోల్, రెగ్యులేటరీ అఫైర్స్కి సంబంధించి మీ కెరీర్కి సంబంధించి ఏదైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నా, మీ కెరీర్ గ్యాప్ వచ్చినా కానీ దాని గురించి అడగండి. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడంటే అశుతోష్ సార్ లైన్లో ఉన్నాడు. తనైతే మీకు కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాల్యుయేషన్ గురించి క్లియర్ కట్గా చెప్తాడు. సో తర్వాత అయినా ఈ వీడియో చూస్తుంటే దీని కింద మెసేజ్ చేయండి, సో దట్ అశుతోష్ సార్ మీకు తర్వాత ఆఫ్లైన్లో అయినా సరే కింద మెసేజ్ కామెంట్ ఇస్తాడు. ఓకే, any doubts other than this? We will wait another 5 minutes, so you can ask any doubts related to pharmaceutical industry. You want to say something, Ashutosh?
I'm expecting some questions from them. I've just done what exactly I need to explain. So you might be like, for those people who are listening this, so might be like, few of the terms or few of the topics which I discussed, it's completely new for you. But definitely, like the course itself is new, and you once you'll be enrolled into that, then you'll be able to find out what exactly we are talking when we'll be talking in detail about the all topics. So
Most of the members, one general doubt is there in all the members.
okay,
The doubt is they have QC experience or QA experience, whether it is 4 or
okay,
5 years, 6 years.
okay,
After taking this course,
yeah,
is this course really helpful to convert from pharma industry to computer system validation?
yes,
In terms
definitely.
of
I'm
percentage of guarantee, is it any chances if he is good
Yes.
in count?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll just talk on that. So see, the thing is, as I told you, right, you are already working in a pharma industry and you are handling QA and QC processes, right? So you might be ending upon using some softwares in QA as well and in QC as well. So you are the one who is having a better idea of what exactly which software you are handling. You know about how the software functions. So when we'll be teaching up this course, we are going to consider, or if you look into the how CSV market is and the companies which are hiring people for CSV roles. So if you'll see, they are always preferring people from pharmaceutical background who are having 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years of experience, and they are basically looking for people who have who know about something known as validation, qualification of instrument. They know about instrument, whatever the instruments used in pharmaceutical industry. So if you have those ideas, definitely you can switch to that. So the see CSV hiring itself is happening for people who are from pharma background. So I can show you a number of examples where they are getting people are getting hired from pharma itself. So it is nowhere related to any software coding. You don't have to learn at all. There is no software at all involvement. It's all related to regulatory bodies, whatever exactly they have designed for electronic records and electronic signatures, and then GAMP guidelines for the software development. So you will be learning all those things. There is nothing to worry about that you need to learn any software coding languages. Okay.
Is this course really helpful for freshers also?
Yes, freshers also can avail this one, because nowadays companies started hiring for freshers also. And in coming days, I can just assure you that another 3 or 4 years it will become a part of your course as well. So when you are going to enroll for any courses in life sciences, like you are doing BSc, you are doing MSc, so definitely a chapter or maybe a subject itself will come as a validation or compliance related thing.
Some members are asking in WhatsApp. Please ask in on channel only, okay? Most of my premium members knows my mobile number. They are asking
Okay,
in them.
so
So
you can
in
ask
this
here.
course,
I'm
yes, this is nowhere related to a SaaS course. Somebody is asking, is
No,
SaaS related to?
SaaS is completely different spec. Okay, yes, there is also a demand for SaaS in the market right now, but that's completely more of a technical. You have to learn a lot of coding languages and more into mathematical concepts, and you also have to learn about the statistics. So that is completely different thing. Here in CSV, it is nowhere related to software development or like software learning. It's just like CSV as a process. You should know that how you need to do a validation.
In traditional departments have very less salary. I know that some member is asking
Yeah.
me.
So yes, if you'll talk on a manufacturing level, so there is a reason behind that, that why the salary is so less. So if you look into the back history, so in industrial revolution we have still categorized as two things. One is skilled labor, the another one is unskilled labor. So the pay scale for skilled labor is the government has decided, and it has not revised from, I can say, 40 years. Okay, so that's the reason always in the manufacturing you find less growth, and a kind of very less salary as well. Okay, but here in CSV, once you are having this kind of experience, this is more of a technical side of pharmaceuticals. Okay, so here you'll be directly enrolled into IT companies. Most of the IT companies are hiring over here right now, and the pay scale is outstanding. I mean, you can expect a person who is having almost 4 to 5 years of experience can expect a salary of 12 lakhs rupees. And there is no upper barrier, I can say. So I mean, upper barrier is not there, means the salary, if you will negotiate, if you're good in negotiation with the companies, you can negotiate it up to 16, 17,000, sorry, 17 lakhs rupees as well. There are people in the industry who are having almost 10 to 12 years of experience, and they are earning 45 lakhs to 50 lakhs salary. So it's completely nowhere, I mean, you will be having any barrier on salary part. And the best part is you'll be having a 5 days work profile, and you'll be working only 8 hours, that too from a desk job. It will be completely a desk job. So you can do, I mean, and most of the company, the good part is it's all work from home as of now.
If you have any doubts other than this, you can drop a message below this video after publishing this video. Okay, Ashutosh sir will guide you right. Okay.
Sure. So shall I
Almost
drop?
50 minutes. Yeah, almost 50 minutes completed. Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Thank you, Arman. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ashutosh.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Srikanth. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Anything you need to say?
No, I'm done. I mean, in case if anybody is interested, you can contact Srikanth, and he'll take the things up.
Done.
Thank you, guys. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. ఎస్ యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ మీరు ఇప్పుడైనా తెలుగులో అడగొచ్చు ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్కి సంబంధించిన ఏ డౌట్ అయినా సరే థ్యాంక్ యూ వెంకటేశ్వరు ఏ డౌట్ అయినా సరే మీరు నీట్గా అడగవచ్చు సో సిఎస్వి అనేది ఇన్నోవేటివ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అనమాట. ఈచ్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీ, ప్రతి ఒక్క ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీ ఈ కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాలిడేషన్ ఆప్ట్ చేసుకోవాల్సిందే. ఆటోమేషన్ పెరిగే కొద్దీ సిఎస్వి జాబ్స్ పెరుగుతాయి కానీ తక్కువ అనమాట. ఎప్పుడైతే ఆటోమేషన్ పెరుగుతుందో అప్పుడే సిఎస్వికి భూమి పెరుగుతుంది, నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎంప్లాయర్స్ ఎక్కువ అడుగుతారు. సో మీరు కూడా షార్ట్ లిస్ట్ అయ్యే అవకాశం ఉంది. అశుతోష్ చెప్పిన దాన్ని బట్టి ఏంటంటే క్యూఏ క్యూసీ నుంచి కన్వర్షన్ అవుతారని అడిగాను. క్యూఏ నుంచి క్యూసీ నుంచి మీరు కోర్స్ చేస్తే కన్వర్షన్ అయ్యే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయా లేదంటే 100% కన్వర్షన్ అయ్యే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి. మార్కెట్లో హ్యూజ్ డిమాండ్ ఉంది అని కూడా చెప్పాను అనమాట. లాంగ్వేజ్ బేరియర్ అనేది పెద్ద బేరియర్ ఏం కాదు, బట్ మినిమం బేసిక్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ అనేది ఉండాలి. సో అదే ఒకటి. శాస్ గురించి అడిగారు ఒక బ్రదర్, నా దగ్గర నెంబర్ లేదు. శాస్ గురించి కూడా తొందరలోనే చేస్తాం. మన దగ్గర హాయ్ అన్న, థ్యాంక్ యూ ఫర్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ఇన్నోవేటివ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇన్ యువర్ ఛానల్. ప్లీజ్ శాస్ కోసం కూడా చెప్పండి. చెప్తాను. వన్ బై వన్ చేసుకుంటూ వస్తాం. క్లినికల్ డేటా మేనేజ్మెంట్ కోర్సు కూడా మనం ఇప్పుడే చేసాం. 15th మార్చ్ నుండి క్లినికల్ డేటా మేనేజ్మెంట్ కోర్స్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. ప్రొడక్షన్ కోర్సు రేపటి నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. కంప్లీట్ ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ప్రొడక్షన్ కోర్స్ అంటే అందులో ఏపీఐ ఉంటుంది, స్టెరిలిటీ, ఓఎస్డి అన్నీ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. సో ఆ కోర్స్ కూడా రేపు సండే నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఎవరైనా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే ఫీ వచ్చేసి జస్ట్ 1500 రూపీసే. డీటెయిల్డ్గా 25 days కోర్స్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ తర్వాత మీకు సర్టిఫికేషన్ కూడా వస్తుంది అనమాట. సో ఇలాంటి కోర్సెస్లో జాయిన్ అవ్వటం వల్ల ఏంటంటే ఎవరైనా ప్రొడక్షన్లో చేసేవాళ్ళు మీకు చెప్పిన ఈజీగా రిఫ్రెష్ అయిపోతారు. ఇక్కడ నేర్చుకొని మీరు రిఫ్రెష్ అవుతారు. తర్వాత మీకు కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థమైతే మీరు ఈజీగా గెట్ ఆన్ అవ్వచ్చు అనమాట. కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం కాకుండా మీరు హయ్యర్ పొజిషన్కి వెళ్ళే కొద్దీ కాన్సెప్ట్ క్లియరెన్స్ అనేది ఉండాలి. ఏదైనా ఒక మీటింగ్కి వెళ్తే ఆ మీటింగ్లో మీకు అన్ని 100% అర్థం కావాలంటే నువ్వు ఇన్డెప్త్గా కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని క్లియర్ ఉంటే కానీ అర్థం కావు. ఆ బాధ అనేది ఒక మేనేజర్ అయిన తర్వాత, ఒక 14-15 years అయిన తర్వాత, అయ్యో క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేదే, మనం ఎందుకు నేర్చుకోలేకపోయాం అనే బాధ అప్పుడు వస్తుంది అనమాట. సో దాన్ని మీరు చేయాలంటే, ఓవర్కమ్ చేయాలంటే ఇప్పటి నుంచే చదువుకోవాలి. సిఎస్వి కోర్స్ ఫీ అయితే 10,000 రూపీస్. సో అశుతోష్ సారే ట్రైనర్ అనమాట. ఫీ అయితే 10,000 రూపీస్. సిఎస్వి అనేది కొంచెం 50 days కోర్స్ అనమాట. మన ప్రొడక్షన్ అనేది 50 days కోర్స్. అది కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అనేవి చాలా హార్డ్ అనమాట. అంటే కాన్సెప్ట్స్ మీకు అర్థమయ్యేలా చెప్పడం చాలా కష్టం. సో సిఎస్వికి సంబంధించిన ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ అయితే అది. ఇంకేమైనా అడగాలనుకున్నారా ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ గురించి? కానీ ఎవరైనా సరే అడగాలంటే అడగచ్చు. ఇంకొక 7 minutes ఉంటాను. ఈ 7 minutesలో 1 hour అవుతుంది. సో 7 minutesలో మీరు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగండి. మెయిన్ మన ఛానల్స్లో ఎక్కువ అడిగేది ఏంటంటే రెగ్యులర్గా వచ్చే కామెంట్స్ కొన్ని ఉన్నాయి. అన్నిటికీ లైవ్లో అయితే అన్నిటికీ ఆన్సర్ అంటే చాలా కష్టం. హాయ్ రవికుమార్. My qualification MSc microbiologist, so I got offer in Aurobindo as a QC microbiologist and also got V Technologies Private as a medical coder, which I have to select. Oh, tough call. నన్ను అడిగితే మెడికల్ కోడర్ కంటే నువ్వు సిపిసి సర్టిఫికేషన్ ఉందా లేదంటే జస్ట్ నీకు జాబ్ వచ్చిందా రవికుమార్? As a career future in Hyderabad, which one to select? Yes, Ravikumar, you have CPC non-certified. Okay. Then both are good options. Medical coding also have very good future. See, MSc microbiology, Aurobindo QC microbiology. QC, we have GMP pressure. That is a traditional department QC. But number of jobs is 10,000 pharmaceutical organizations in India. బట్ మెడికల్ కోడింగ్ అంటే అన్ని జాబ్స్ లేవు. బట్ యూఎస్ కోసం, యూకే కోసం వర్క్ చేస్తావు కాబట్టి నీకు శాలరీ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. కంపారిటివ్లీ క్యూసీ అంత ప్రేర్ అయితే ఉండదు. దానికి ఆలోచిస్తే 2 టఫ్ కాలే. నేను కొంచెం మెడికల్ కోడింగే బాగుందనుకున్నాను. యాజ్ పర్ మెడికల్ కోడింగ్ ఛాన్స్ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి, మెడికల్ కోడింగే ప్రిఫర్ చేయమని చెబుతున్నాను. సో, ఎందుకంటే క్యూసీలో నంబర్ ఆఫ్ జాబ్స్ ఎక్కువుంటాయి. బట్ సాలరీ అనేది చాలా తక్కువుంటుంది. ఇఫ్ యూ గాట్ గుడ్ సాలరీ ఇన్ వి టెక్నాలజీస్ దెన్ యూ కెన్ చూస్ మెడికల్ కోడింగ్. బట్ ఆఫ్టర్ మీరు జాబ్ చేసిన తర్వాత 1 or 2 months తర్వాత అయినా సరే, యూ నో తెలుగు రవికుమార్? డూ యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ తెలుగు? ఐ హోప్ యెస్. నువ్వు జాబ్ చేస్తూ అయినా సరే సిపిసి ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తే బాగుంటుందన్నమాట. సిపిసి సర్టిఫికేషన్ సంబంధించి మన దాంట్లో కోర్స్ కూడా ఉంది. అందరూ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ పర్సన్స్ అంటే జాబ్ చేస్తున్న వాళ్ళే ఉన్నారు. జస్ట్ ఫీ వచ్చేసి 5,000 రూపీస్, 75 days కోర్స్. నిన్ననే ఐసీటీ స్టార్ట్ అయిందనమాట. ఐసీటీ 10 CM స్టార్ట్ అయింది. నువ్వు ఆల్రెడీ ఎక్కడైనా కోచింగ్ తీసుకుంటే నో ఇష్యూ. బట్ నాకైతే కొంచెం ఇదేమనిపిస్తుంది. యెస్, నువ్వు ఆల్రెడీ కోచింగ్ తీసుకుంటే నో ఇష్యూ. ఎప్పటికైనా సరే నువ్వు సర్టిఫైడ్ చేస్తే బాగుంటుంది. సర్టిఫైడ్ సిపిసి ఎగ్జామ్ రాస్తే బాగుంటుంది. ఇప్పుడు కాకపోయినా 2-3 months తర్వాత. మన దగ్గర ప్రవీణ మ్యామ్ గారని చెప్తున్నారు అనమాట. సిపిసి మొత్తం 75 days కోర్స్. జస్ట్ 15-16 క్లాసెస్ అయిపోయినాయి. మెడికల్ టెక్నాలజీ, ఎనాటమీ, ఫిజియాలజీ అయిపోయింది. ఐసీడీ 10 CM స్టార్ట్ అయింది. ఐసీడీ 10 CM తర్వాత సిపిసి ఉంటుంది, సిపిఎంఎస్ ఉంటుంది, మెడికల్ బిల్డింగ్ ఉంటుంది. గో ఫర్ మెడికల్ కోడింగ్. నా సజెషన్ అయితే మెడికల్ కోడింగ్. సో ఇంకేమన్నా మీకేమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో కానీ? ఇది మర్చిపోయాను, కామన్ డౌట్స్. విమ్టాలో లలిత్ చేపూరి 2022 B.Pharm graduate, got job as a trainee in vitro of preclinical department in Vimta Labs. 3 consecutively year bond. Can I join? విమ్టాలో ఫస్ట్ ఇన్ విట్రో డిపార్ట్మెంట్ చాలా బాగుంటుంది, బాండ్ ఉన్నా లేకపోయినా. ఇప్పుడు అందరూ బాండ్ అడుగుతున్నారు. బాండ్ అనేది కంపల్సరీ. ఎందుకంటే ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ చేరి ఎక్కువ 2-3 months కానీ 4-5 months కానీ 1 year కానీ అలా మానేస్తే ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లాస్. కాబట్టి కంపల్సరీ వాళ్ళు బాండ్ అడుగుతున్నారు. 2 years అయితే బాగుండేది. ఆర్గనైజేషన్ కూడా ఆలోచించాలి. 3 years అనేది వెరీ హ్యూజ్ పీరియడ్. మీరు 2 yearsలో పెడితే బాగుంటుంది అన్నమాట. 3 years అనేది హ్యూజ్ పీరియడ్. సార్ ఐఎమ్ రఘు, క్యూసీలో జాయిన్ అయ్యాను. జస్ట్ 1 month అయింది. 15K ఇస్తున్నారు. 5 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ తర్వాత శాలరీస్ ఎలా ఉంటాయి చెప్పగలరు? నా చేతిలో ఇంకో బ్యాంక్ జాబ్ ఆఫర్ కూడా ఉంది. క్యూసీ నుండి బ్యాంక్ జాబ్ స్విచ్ అవ్వడం అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీకు ఒపీనియన్ తెలుపుతాను. బ్యాంక్ అండ్ ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ, ఒకవేళ బ్యాంక్ అనేది పర్మనెంట్ అయితే అసలు అడిగే పని కూడా లేదు, నువ్వు బ్యాంక్కి వెళ్ళవచ్చు. ఒకవేళ బ్యాంక్ కాంట్రాక్ట్ జాబ్ అయితే కంపల్సరీగా క్యూసీలోనే జాయిన్ అయితే బాగుంటుంది. సో క్యూసీ అనేది చాలా బాగుంటుంది ఫ్యూచర్. బట్ వర్క్ ప్రెజర్ అనేది కొంచెం ఎక్కువగా ఉంటుంది అన్నమాట. ఇండస్ట్రీలో ర్యాపిడ్లీ గ్రోయింగ్ శాలరీ డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అండ్ ఫుల్ డీటెయిల్స్ ఆఫ్ R&D. శాలరీ బాగా కావాలంటే ట్రెడిషనల్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఏమైతే ఉంటాయో, క్వాలిటీ కంట్రోల్ కానీ, క్వాలిటీ ఎష్యూరెన్స్ కానీ, ప్రొడక్షన్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్, వాటిలో శాలరీస్ కొంచెం తక్కువ ఉంటాయి. రెగ్యులేటరీ అఫైర్స్ అయితే అటు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ సైడ్ వెళ్ళొచ్చు, కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వాల్యుయేషన్ 2 వైపులు వెళ్ళచ్చు. కాబట్టి వీళ్ళకి కొంచెం శాలరీస్ ఎక్కువగా ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. R&D డిపార్ట్మెంట్ గురించి నేను వీడియో చేశాను, మీరు చూడండి. రూల్ ఆఫ్ R&D డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఇన్ ఫార్మాస్యూటికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీ వీడియో చేశాను, మన ఉన్నాయి. సార్ నాది బీజెడ్సీ కంప్లీట్ అయింది, క్యూఏకి ఎలిజిబుల్ అవుతానా? ఎస్, నువ్వు క్యూఏకి ఎలిజిబుల్ అవుతావు. బీఎస్సీ బీజెడ్సీ వాళ్ళందరూ ఎలిజిబుల్. మినిమం గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. ఫ్యూచర్లో కోడింగ్ ఉంటుందా, ఏ అవుతుందా, ఆర్ మైక్రోబయాలజిస్ట్ వెళ్ళావా, విచ్ వన్ సెక్యూర్ ఇన్ హైదరాబాద్ వెళ్తున్నావు, హౌ టు సెలెక్ట్ మై కెరీర్? ఎస్, అదే చెప్తున్నా కదా, ఆర్టిఫిషియల్ ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ అనేది మెడికల్ కోడింగ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. యాజ్ ఫర్ ఐ నో, కోడింగ్కి ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంటుందంటే 100% ఉంది. ఎప్పటికైనా సరే కోడింగ్ గురించి నేను కొంచెం ఇన్డెప్త్గా తెలుసుకొని ఉంటా కాబట్టి చెప్తున్నాను. ఒక ఏదైనా డిసీజ్ వస్తే ఒక ప్రొసీజర్ అనేది డాక్టర్ని బట్టి వేరియేషన్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. ఆ వేరియేషన్ అనేది మరి హ్యూజ్గా ఉండకూడదు. కోడింగ్ వల్ల అది అనేది కొంచెం మినిమైజ్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. అంటే మన దగ్గర జ్వరం వచ్చిన 1 lakh రూపీస్ ఛార్జ్ చేస్తారు. సో పర్సన్ బట్టి ఛార్జ్ చేస్తుంటారు. సో కోడింగ్ ఉండడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే అవన్నీ జస్ట్ స్మూత్నింగ్ అయిపోతాయి అనమాట. కంపల్సరీగా ఇండియాలో కూడా ఫ్యూచర్‌లో కూడా కోడింగ్ వస్తుంది. సో ఇప్పటికి ఆరోగ్యశ్రీకి అలాంటి వాటికి ఫైల్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఒక్కొక్క టైప్ ఆఫ్ డిసీజ్‌కి మాక్సిమం అలానే వసూలు చేస్తున్నారనమాట మనీ. సో మెడికల్ కోడింగ్‌కి అయితే ఫ్యూచర్ ఇప్పుడు దగ్గరలో ఫ్యూచర్ అనేది పెరగటమే తప్ప తగ్గడం అంటూ ఉండదు. సో నీకు ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే నువ్వు మైక్రోబయాలజిస్ట్. బీఫార్మసీ అయితే కళ్ళు మూసుకొని వెళ్ళిపోయాడు. ఎంఎస్సీ మైక్రోబయాలజీ చేసి మైక్రోబయాలజిస్ట్‌గా జాబ్ వస్తే నేను వెళ్ళాలా వద్దా అన్నది నీ మెయిన్ డౌట్. మైక్రోబయాలజిస్ట్‌కి వస్తే అది నీ కోర్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్. సో నేను కూడా అదే చెప్పాను. క్లోజ్ కాదనమాట. నీకు 2 ది బెస్ట్ ఆప్షన్స్. సో తేల్చుకోవాల్సింది నువ్వు. ఎందుకంటే నీ కోర్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ మైక్రోబయాలజిస్ట్‌కి వెళ్తావా? మెడికల్ కోడింగ్‌కి వెళ్తావా అనేది నీ చేతిలో. ఆర్ఏలో ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంటుందండి. ఆర్ఏకి ది బెస్ట్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంటుంది. రెగ్యులేటరీ గైడ్‌లైన్స్ ఉండే కొద్దీ పెరగడమే తప్ప తగ్గడం అనేది ఉండదు. సో ఆర్ఏని మీరు ఆర్ఏ ఆపర్చునిటీ వస్తే అస్సలు వదులుకోవద్దు. ఈవెన్ కన్సల్టెన్సీస్ ఉన్నాయి కదా! వాటిల్లో కూడా జాబ్స్ వస్తాయి. ఈవెన్ సాఫ్ట్‌వేర్ ఇండస్ట్రీలో కూడా జాబ్స్ వస్తాయి. సో ఆర్ఏ అనేది ది బెస్ట్ ఆప్షన్ అనమాట. ఆర్ఏ వస్తే మాత్రం వదులుకోవద్దు. సో 1 అవర్ అవుతుంది. మీకు ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే మీరు ఈ వీడియో కింద మెసేజ్ చేయండి. థాంక్స్ కిషోర్ రెడ్డి. ఆర్&డీలో ఏ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ బావుంటాయండి? బావుంటుంది. ఓకే. ఇఫ్ నీ కోర్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ ఏది చూసుకోవాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నువ్వు ఎంఎస్సీ కెమిస్ట్రీ చేసావనుకో. ఎఫ్ఆర్&డి. ఎఫ్ఆర్&డి అంటే ఫార్ములేషన్ రీసెర్చ్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్. అందులో ఏఆర్&డి అంటే అనలిటికల్ రీసెర్చ్ అండ్ డెవలప్మెంట్. సో ఏదైనా కానీ బావుంటుంది. 2 బెస్ట్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్స్ అనమాట. సో మీకున్న ఇంట్రెస్ట్‌ని బట్టి, మీ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ బట్టి మీరు చూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఒక్కోసారి మీ ప్రమేయం లేకుండానే జాబ్ వస్తాయి. ఒకవేళ దాని గురించి కన్ఫైన్డ్ ఒక డిపార్ట్మెంట్ గురించి అయితే చెప్తాను. ఓకే. గురు మాదాసు నీ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ ఏంటి? ఎఫ్ఆర్&డి అనేది మొత్తం ఆర్&డిని రిప్రజెంట్ చేయదు. ఎఫ్ఆర్&డి అనేది బావుంటుంది. ఎనీ డౌట్స్ అదర్ దాన్ దిస్? ఏఆర్&డి ఫ్యూచర్‌కి ఏం బాధ లేదండి. ఏఆర్&డిలో మీరు ఇన్‌స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ అన్నీ సరిగ్గా నేర్చుకోగలిగితే మీరు ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఉండవచ్చు, పెస్టిసైడ్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి వెళ్ళవచ్చు, ఫుడ్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి వెళ్ళవచ్చు, ఆగ్రో కెమికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి వెళ్ళవచ్చు, స్పెషాలిటీ కెమికల్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి వెళ్ళవచ్చు. ఎక్కడికి వెళ్ళినా సరే ఇన్‌స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ ఫోరెన్సిక్ ఇండస్ట్రీకి వెళ్ళవచ్చు. హెచ్‌పిఎల్‌సి, ఎల్‌సి, ఎల్‌సిఎంఎస్, జీసీఎంఎస్, ఐసీపీఎంఎస్, ఐసీపీఓఈఎస్ మీరు ఏ ఇన్‌స్ట్రుమెంట్స్ బాగా నేర్చుకుంటే మీరు ఎక్కడికైనా వెళ్ళొచ్చు. కెరీర్ ఎక్సలెంట్‌గా ఉంటుంది. సో ఎలా నేర్చుకోవాలి? సిస్టమాటిక్‌గా నేర్చుకోవాలి. క్వాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్‌పీరియన్స్ ఉండాలి. మీకున్న డౌట్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే క్లియర్ చేసుకోవాలి. అది మీ చేతుల్లో ఉంటుందన్నమాట. సీ వర్క్ ఎక్కువ, తక్కువ అంటే నాకు 14 ఇయర్స్ ఏఆర్&డీలో ఎక్స్‌పీరియన్స్ అని చెప్తుంది. ప్రెజెంట్ ఏఆర్&డీలో వర్క్ చేస్తున్నా. ఫ్యూచర్‌లో ఉంటుంది. అదే చెప్తున్నా. ఏ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ వర్క్ చేసినా సరే ఫోకస్ ఆన్ ది నాలెడ్జ్. ఏ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ చేస్తున్నాం? ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ టైమ్‌లైన్ ఏంటి? ఏ టైమ్‌లోగా నేను మెథడ్స్‌ని డెవలప్ చేయాలి? ఏ టైమ్‌లైన్‌లో మీరు అందరూ మెథడ్స్ వాలిడేట్ చేయాలన్న దాన్ని మెయిన్ ఫోకస్‌గా తీసుకోవాలి. అదేవిధంగా ప్రాజెక్ట్ కోర్ నాలెడ్జ్ మీకు ఎక్కడైతే ఆల్రెడీ బయట పేపర్స్ ఉంటాయి మెథడ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేసేటప్పుడైనా రీసెర్చ్ పేపర్‌ని ఈజీగా అనలైజ్ చేసుకొని మెథడ్స్ డెవలప్మెంట్ చేయడం వచ్చుండాలి. ఏదైతే టెర్మినాలజీ ఉంటుందో ఫార్ములేషన్ యొక్క టెర్మినాలజీ వాటిని బాగా అండర్‌స్టాండింగ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఒకటికి 2 సార్లు చదవాలి. ఏదైనా బయట జరిగే చిన్న చిన్న కోర్సెస్ చేయాలి. వీటన్నిటిని నేర్చుకోవాలి. ఏఆర్&డి అనేది ఎక్సలెంట్‌గా ఉంటుంది. సో ఎంత బాగా నేర్చుకున్నా అది మీ చేతిలోనే ఉంటదన్నమాట. ఓకే. సో మనం ఈ రోజుకి సెషన్ ఎండ్ చేద్దాం. మీకేమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే నాకు ఈ వీడియో కింద కామెంట్ చేయండి. నేను తర్వాత చేస్తాను. ఓకే. రవికుమార్ సారీ నేను కొంచెం బిజీలో ఉన్నాను. నీకు ఆల్రెడీ నేను చేశాననుకుంటున్నాను. నాకు తెలిసిన సజెషన్ నేను ఇచ్చాను. ఓకే. సో నా నెంబర్ అయితే సేవ్ చేసి పెట్టుకో. బట్ అయితే ప్రెజెంట్ అయితే ఈరోజు రేపు కొంచెం వేరే వర్క్‌లో బిజీగా ఉన్నాను. నువ్వు మండే అయితే చేయొచ్చు. మండే చేసి మాట్లాడొచ్చు. ఓకే. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వన్ అండ్ ఆల్.